Hi Cancer, welcome to your general Tarotscope for the period between November 15th and 30th. And before I put down the cards, the first thing I wanted to talk about are a few transits that are occurring at the end of November. One of them is that Neptune is turning direct on the 19th of November. And for you, this is your 9th house. Now, Neptune is very idealistic, and Neptune is very mystical. So both of those things, and they do tend to be tied together, mysticism and idealism, they are wonderful qualities, right? The problem becomes when they go overboard and people become self-deluded, or if it's coming from an outside force, they can become deceived by something or someone. Now, in the 9th house for you, this is in the area of higher education. It's your philosophical framework, so this would include any kind of religion that you believe in, or any kind of, it doesn't have to be an organized religion, but a belief system, as well as foreign travel. So when Neptune was retrograde, and it's been that way since June, you may have actually become more realistic about something. Something may have been clear to you that previously you were kind of up in the clouds about. So an example could be you were planning a trip overseas, and you had all these things planned, and you found out that the travel agency was totally shady and they just closed up shop. Or maybe you were going to start a whole course of studies, maybe you're going to get a degree in something, and you found out more information about the university, and it was kind of a scam. So actually, when Neptune is retrograde, that's when people tend to find these things out. Now it's direct, so the dreaming is back on course. So there's idealism, but you always have to kind of keep one foot firmly on the ground and not get too carried away, is basically what I would say about that. The other thing is that, if it's like, let's say it's a relationship, you might meet somebody, and this would be particularly true if Venus was in that 9th house of yours, from a different culture, and then with Neptune in there, you got to make sure that everything is totally that this person, if this person is married, or if they're misrepresenting themselves and things like that. You also have a couple of transits in Sagittarius. You have a new moon there on the 29th. Actually, the sun goes there on the 21st. So there can be new beginnings in the area of your chart related to health, your everyday routine, and work. So this could even be a different workplace. Maybe you move to a different department in your at your job. Maybe you're doing a different type of work, or maybe you're going to enact a health regimen. Okay. Okay, I picked a clarification card for the outcome because of the type of card it is. Okay, the overall theme of the end of November is the 9 of Wands. I think I got this just for another sign. This is a card of kind of keeping your defenses up about a situation. If you're having a personal, situation going on, maybe you've broken up with somebody, you may be afraid that they're going to try to worm their way back into your life, and you're on guard, so to speak. That's what this card represents. Because in the past position I actually get the Two of Wands, this could actually be a fire sign. So we're talking about an Aries, a card that I associate with hooking up with Cancer sometime, or a Leo or a Sagittarius. And actually, this person, if you have to keep your guard up, it might be because it did not work out, this relationship. In a business situation, it's kind of like I had mentioned about traveling. The two of Wands can actually speak to that. Can speak to somebody who's kind of mulling over whether or not they should stay where they are or go. So in a business sense, this could be, there are so many people that are mobile now, that are going to different countries, doing contract work. And, not just in America, but I have had clients that live in Europe, and they go to different countries for work. And I'm actually stunned at people that live in Europe going to China. I thought it would be more like the other way around, but there are people going to China to get work that are from Europe or South America or something like that. So I think I even had one from Russia. Yeah. So that people from all over the world are going to different places, and they're looking for work. They're getting work. But Cancer is a very, you're very patriotic. You're very much in love with where you're from. And even if you do go, you still have deep roots. So that may make you a little bit ambivalent about the possibility of leaving. If this is a relationship, there may be another person involved, and you're not sure. Maybe an Aries, or I said Aries, but it could be any fire sign. Person is one of the people that you're choosing from. Let me keep going. Well, it comes in as a star card. So I think that even if you've been feeling on the defensive for some reason, or a bit wary of a situation, I said wary, not weary, but wary being, like a little bit hypervigilant. The star card indicates that you are feeling optimistic about your situation. The star card can actually indicate that it's like having your dreams come true or having your prayers answered. And it can even be that you're being guided to your decisions. And if you're indecisive about something, the star card indicates that your ancestors, the people, your loved ones that may not be in the physical any longer, could be helping you along the way. And so you don't have to, try so hard. Just sometimes, refusing to make a decision will allow things to settle and make things easier to see. Whatever it is. And I don't know exactly what you personally may be dealing with. The higher message, if this is like deciding about a particular person, this is actually associated with Sagittarius. I personally associate it with Aries. But it could be any fire sign, including Leo. But if you're dealing with somebody, the higher message is this person is afraid, I was going to say afraid of commitment, but may just not want, it may not be that he or she's afraid of it. They may just prefer playing the field. And so make sure if you're involved with somebody that you know where they stand when it comes to relationships, because the average Cancer person wants a permanent relationship. They don't want the playing around. They don't want affairs. They want something much more settled down. And part of it is because you're a traditional sign, and so you like that, sense of constancy. But also because, maybe because you like things to be, you like the continuity of a certain relationship, but also because you like security. And so if you're just with somebody that refuses to commit, then you don't feel secure with that person. So that may create a lot of, angst within you, where you feel like you don't have roots. In a career scenario, the Knight of Wands can simply say that you have to become more carefree. That maybe, like, let's say you do have an offer and it's to travel for your business, that you don't worry so much about all the little details, that you just go for it, because this is like a wonderful opportunity for you. And, don't be such a stick in the mud, Don't be so afraid of risk, because it may not be so much risk as adventure. And maybe you're afraid of adventure because you like the day-to-day, and you just like kind of like everything to be kind of mellow and not something, because when you're going far away, it can be very enlivening, but for some people that's a little bit too much for them. They're very like Cancer. In astrology, it's the 4th house of home and family. So there's like this nest, that you like to build. And the big world out there, it's always comforting for you to go into your nest. And this, you may have to abandon your nest for a while if you have some kind of a job offer. What crosses you is the moon card. I'm reading this in a reverse position. Now you are ruled by the moon. And the thing is that the moon card can sometimes indicate deception. And in the reverse position, maybe you're deceiving yourself. In some cases, I'm reading this in the challenge position. So if the reversed case is like uncovering deception, then I would say I'd read it in the upright position. But make sure, obviously, if you do have a job offer, especially if it requires travel where you would be a long way away from home, possibly in a country where they speak a different language than yours, and you're kind of like all there alone, that you know for sure that it's a legitimate job offer. I've heard of people going to other countries and teaching English as a second language, and I think it was some kind of a scam. So, where they had to pay ahead of time, and then they said, if you have a job offer, you should never have to pay for the job. That's when you know it's a scam. So just make sure that and of course then, people, they uproot their lives and they go somewhere far away, and then all of a sudden they have no means to earn a living because the whole thing was fake. So make sure about that. And also, I think that even, with personal relationships, don't sell yourself a false narrative. If there's somebody who they could be very charismatic, they could be very fun to be around, but if they are not willing to commit, maybe they give you 1,001 reasons, believe them. If you've called their bluff and they keep promising that they're going to move in or get married or what have you, and they always have a new excuse, then you know exactly how they feel about it. They may not come out and tell you, but you know that they're not going to commit. And the sooner that people realize these things, the better, instead of creating a false narrative and wasting more time. And it doesn't mean that they're bad people. They just may not want to commit and they can't admit it. So the advice, or maybe what comes in, is the Ace of Cups. This is an offer of love. This is a heartfelt kind of situation. So this is a wonderful card for romance specifically. So this might be with a water sign individual. Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. There's always a possibility that this kind of a person, you know, tells you that they do love you after all. Maybe it takes them a while to admit it because they love their freedom. For a job, it could be an offer for a job that is more in alignment with your higher purpose than just a job that is all about how much you get paid and how many weeks off of vacation you get a year. And that kind of goes along with the Star card. It's like kind of like this wonderful dream coming true, something that you've wanted on a deep level. Now, this is why I had to pick an additional card, because the outcome was Nine of Swords, and this is the card that can deal with anxieties, insomnia. So I just, you know, gave you a bunch of great cards. Why would I pick a card like that? Okay, well, let me tell you. You may, you know, people don't understand this, but people who have anxiety, it's not always that there's a lot of bad stuff going on in their life. Sometimes people get anxious when good things start to happen. Sometimes good things can happen so quickly that a person almost feels overwhelmed by it because maybe they feel like they don't deserve it, or it's so unusual for them to experience so many good things. So that's always a possibility, and I did pick a clarifying card. And sure enough, it was the King of Pentacles. So this is a card of, you know, financial abundance, but it's a position of authority when it comes to, you know, career matters. So that's kind of like the mastery level of, so this would be somebody, if it was an actual person, it would be somebody who owns, you know, a very successful business. And it can be a card of, you know, just a sense of having that status, or it could be somebody who is in the boss of a major company or something along those lines. Somebody who has a business owner, who has a status. And what that could be saying is that, you know, if you can let go of your anxieties, that you can achieve that. I think that's, you know, something you have to embrace, these beautiful things in your life. Now, the other thing too is I was thinking that perhaps some of you are having problems with Aquarians, because I didn't mention this, but the Star card is connected to Aquarius. So with that Swords card, it could be, but because it's you know, kind of a negative connotation, that might have been a person that was causing problems. Maybe you were choosing between an Aquarian and a fire sign individual. So that was the choice that needed to be made in that Two of Wands card. So I do feel like the King of Pentacles shows you gaining mastery over that situation. Maybe the new love that comes in for you is an earth sign, and earth is a compatible element to water. So it's Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. So very interesting, Cancer. And I'm going to leave it there, but I have private readings using your natal chart plus the tarot on many occasions, or in many of my readings I do both together, but I really do rely on the natal chart because it yields a lot in it. The tarot to me is very symbolic, but I do like it as well. And I have, career readings, I have love readings, I have, just a basic interpretation of your chart and 12 months of highlights for your love and career and all kinds of stuff. But I'll leave a link. There's a link below this video to my website. Otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of November. Bye.